Hey guys, so in this video we're gonna see how do drivers work. So I have this setup here inside Figma where I have three artboards. One is called Wonder Woman, Bumblebee, another one, and the third artboard is called Spider-Man. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna switch from Wonder Woman to Bumblebee to Spider-Man, and I want these details, movie details to change accordingly with their respective movies. And now let's jump into Principle to see this in action. So here we are inside Principle, and let's focus on our first artboard, which is called Wonder Woman. And we have a poster 1 here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy poster 2 from Bumblebee artboard, and I'm just gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste it on Wonder Woman poster 2. Oh, before that I'm gonna just Control Z, and before that I'm gonna delete this poster 2 from the first artboard and gonna copy the second poster from Bumblebee, and this is the poster 2. And I'm gonna do the same from the third artboard. I'm gonna copy this Spider-Man, which is poster 3, and gonna paste it here. So basically I have poster 1, poster 2 and poster 3 right inside our first artboard, and I'm gonna just displace these three different posters. So I'm gonna select poster 2 and I'm gonna press shift and right and just gonna displace a little bit somewhere here. I'm gonna do the same with poster 3 and I'm gonna displace somewhere here. Yeah, also I'm gonna group all these three posters inside one group. So I'm gonna create a group, Command G, and name this group as posters. So here we are, we have all the three posters here, and just let me see like if the posters are aligned properly. So this looks good. So now let's go back to alignment, and this is where we are. So we have all the three posters here, and what I want, like when I move from one poster to another one, the first poster should scale down and get reduced in opacity, and the second one should scale up and get to full opacity from the reduced opacity. So yeah, first of all, let's apply the pagination effect on these posters on this group. So go to horizontal and select page, and you can see pagination is working. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna reduce the group size to somewhere here. So let's see if it's working. It's working, but the position is a little weird here. So I'm just gonna increase the size here. Yeah, you have to manually align it so that it works perfectly, and this is something which looks good to me, and maybe you can a little bit align it properly so that you can see if it works fine. Yeah, this looks good to me. So now we have applied the pagination effect. Yeah, that looks fine to me. And now let's move on to drivers. So click on drivers on the toolbar, and let me increase the size of the drivers panel. So drivers panel looks like kind of a animation timeline panel, and if you see the timeline panel, it looks like this. And on the timeline panel we have number of seconds starting from 0. So basically on animation timeline it is seconds, and on drivers we don't have seconds. It's like it's a x-axis where it's like negative values and positive values. So if you move from 0, you can see the pagination effect in action, and yeah, until the artboards go out of the frame and in the negative axis. Everything starts from 0 here. So basically 0 is the place where the pagination effect will start working. So what we need to do is we need to tell Principle that hey, when we move from 0, I want this Wonder Woman poster to fade out and decrease in size. So let's select the poster 1, which is the Wonder Woman poster, and click on this add a keyframe here, small plus icon on this blue rhombus or diamond shape, and click on scale, and also click on opacity. So basically on 0th frame you are saying like, you want the opacity and the scale to be exact what it is right now. And when we move to a place where the Bumblebee poster is in the center, like somewhere on 289 or maybe somewhere 290, I want this Wonder Woman poster to scale down and reduce in opacity. So we can reduce opacity to maybe 50% or maybe 30%. 50% looks good. And opacity reduce, scale reduce to 0.8 or maybe 0.9. Yeah, this looks good. And also we can play with the position here. So I'm gonna select the poster 1. I'm gonna push keyframe which is in the x-axis and gonna move to the final position and just gonna bring it a little bit more to the near. And let's see the animation in action. So as you move to the Bumblebee poster, it reduces in opacity and also scale. So this is how drivers works. So basically drivers works when you apply scrolling, pagination or dragging effect. So let's have a look at another poster animation, which is poster 2. So let's move on to a first action where you can see Bumblebee. So we want on the 298th frame, we want this Bumblebee poster to remain exactly like it is right now. So let's select center X to move, scale and opacity. And let's go back to our original position and let's reduce the size of this Bumblebee poster to 0.9, opacity to 50%, and just maybe we can bring this poster more towards the first poster. So this is how it looks, and when you move, this poster increases in size and stays there. Now let's interact with a third poster, or maybe let's interact with this Bumblebee poster only and move forward in time until this Spider-Man poster is in the center, somewhere here, 605 or 605, and let's reduce the scale to 0.9 of this Bumblebee poster, opacity to 50%, and let's bring this poster a little bit closer to Spider-Man poster. Yeah, that's it. And now I'm gonna apply the same keyframes on poster 3. So I'm gonna add keyframe on center X to move, scale, reduce the scale, and opacity to reduce opacity in the original position, which is this one. So here the Spider-Man poster, which is poster number 3, should have scale of 0.9, 90% of actual scale and 50% of opacity, and just gonna move it towards the Bumblebee poster. So these are all the states. So you can see Wonder Woman poster is on the center, you move, Bumblebee takes place, and as you move, Spider-Man poster takes place. Maybe we can move this Spider-Man poster towards more like kind of center. So you can go here on the last frame and maybe choose this frame and select all these keyframes and move a little bit, like somewhere Spider-Man poster is in the center, 628. So now let's have a look. The animation looks something like this, which is fine. And now let's animate the second part, which is the movie details of their respective movies. So let's go to 0, which is the starting animation of the pagination, and let's close these posters. And we want Wonder Woman details to move away when the Bumblebee details come up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go here, select the Wonder Woman details, and as you can see on the drivers, I'm just gonna bring it down, or maybe you can scroll up also, and I'm gonna select center X to move around, and opacity to reduce the opacity size, and scale so that the scale also reduces. And gonna go to the position for the second poster. I'm gonna move this Wonder Woman out of the frame somewhere here and reduce the scale to maybe 0.9, and I'm gonna reduce opacity to 50%, and maybe I'm gonna bring it a little bit to the side. This looks good. And I'm gonna copy the bumblebee thing from the actual design and gonna paste it here. Same thing I'm gonna do with the Spider-Man and gonna paste it here. So now we have to add keyframes on bumblebee. So actual position of the bumblebee is 290, and on 0 we have actual position of Wonder Woman, and on 620 we have actual position of Spider-Man. So let's go to the center, which is 290, and which is the actual position of bumblebee. So let's add keyframes to movie details too, which is for bumblebee movie details. And for now I'm gonna delete all the other two artboards because we have already copied movie details from there. I'm gonna delete this and only gonna focus on this one artboard. So now we have selected bumblebee details, movie details, which is movie details 2, and I'm gonna add the same center X, scale and opacity, and gonna go back in time or frame and move this bumblebee to the side just below bumblebee poster. Then gonna reduce opacity to 50%, reduce the scale, and maybe move it a little bit to the left hand side. So that's it. See, you can see this in action. This is working fine. Or maybe we can move the movie details to a little bit to the side, and when you raise the bumblebee position, you can select movie details 1, which is Wonder Woman movie details. You can move it to the left more. And now let's move to the last keyframe, which is the Spider-Man, and for that we need bumblebee out of the frame, so we can move it outside somewhere here, reduce the scale and reduce the opacity, and we're gonna put the Spider-Man in center and gonna add the same keyframes, center X, scale and opacity, which is movie details 3 group. And gonna go back when bumblebee was there, and I'm gonna just move Spider-Man details page to the right hand side, and same thing, 0.9 scale, 50% opacity, that's it, and gonna move it a little bit more to the right side. So basically if you focus on 0, so we have poster 1, which is Wonder Woman, and poster 2 and poster 3, and we have movie details. Just gonna rename it to movie details 1, 2 and 3. And when you move to second bumblebee poster, it comes in center, and when you move to the last poster, Spider-Man comes in center. So now let's preview it, reset, and as you can see, as you move around, the details also move accordingly to the posters. So this is how drivers work. Basically, you can create animations based on your scrolling and based on your pagination or paging, and you just need to apply keyframes on those particular layers properties. Like we applied on these movie details, we selected x-axis, position, scale and opacity, and that's all you need to do. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial, and in the next video we're gonna talk about easing and timing in animation.